Shelby, you want soy sauce?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's good. This place is good.
Have your volume up, or if you're just not talking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Woo! Hello. I don't know if you
Hi there. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Megan.
Hi.
Catherine. Catherine, I almost wore royal blue. I would have matched you. Hey, Bonnie. Hi, Haley.
Hi.
Hey, Martina, Bethesda team. Hi, other Haley. Hi, Peyton and Rachel. I think I see Julie back there too.
Sorry? Did you want to schedule one now?
What's that?
I know we have a lot of people coming, so we probably won't start until like 12:05. So grab your lunch, grab your drink, and we'll start soon. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Millersville team. Hey, Susan. I see you in the background. Hi, Rachel. Hi, April.
Yeah.
Hey, Brittany. So I'll give everyone like 2 more minutes to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started because I know it's your lunch break. Oh, Rachel, you have a whole group there. Hi, everyone. I can see Heather. Oh, there's everybody. Okay. Hi, everyone.
Definitely checking our food. Okay.
Pam is still with the patient, so we're just waiting on her. But y'all can, we can go ahead and start. If we need to.
It's all the way up.
Hi, Peyton. All right. I think we have pretty much everyone that is going to join us today. But if anyone comes late, I will try to make sure I add them in. All right. And I am recording this, so if anyone is not able to join at all, we will have the recording available for anybody to watch who isn't here, or if anybody just wants to watch again. But I'm going to pull up a couple things and then I will share my screen shortly. Okay. All right, looks like Lexi's joining us. Hi, Lexi. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. If you guys can, actually, I'll go ahead and mute some people. All right, I think everyone's muted. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. If you can't hear me or have any issues, please let me know. But thank you all so much for being here. Just really appreciate you carving out this time to just learn about Basecamp and social media in general, and to just kind of bring everyone together. This is the first time all the Meridiem offices are, I know we're not in the same room in person, but this is really the first time we're all getting together. So just excited for the growth of Meridiem over the past year, and really grateful for your time today. I just wanted to briefly introduce the members of the marketing team that are here. So as you know, I'm Crystal, and then the person who has the lovely backdrop is Haley. And Haley is actually our Basecamp product manager. So while I'll be training you on just the Meridiem part of Basecamp, she is the go-to expert. So if you leave today and you have extra questions, all of your managers have been using Basecamp for quite a while, but if you have any specific questions, you can always come to me. But Haley is really the expert on the team on all things Basecamp. So you'll definitely want to go to her if you have any questions. And then Haley K, our other Haley, is our graphic designer, and she does all kinds of things. She does all of our social, our collateral. So if you ever have any questions about design or just wondering who the face is behind all the beautiful graphics, it's Haley K. And Haley New also makes a lot of our graphics for our events and a lot of the cosmetic events. So Marissa, our VP, is in the middle of moving into her brand new home, so she's not able to join us today. Katina does all of our website. So if you ever have a question about website or ads, things like that, Katina's the person to go to. And then Hope, who is visiting her brand new baby niece, who was just born, is not here as well. But if you ever have any questions about overall graphic design, Hope is the go-to for that. And I see Nicole and Rachel are joining us, so glad they're here. And then for me personally, I know I've fortunately had the opportunity to meet all of you at this point in person, but just to give you a little idea of who I am. So I run all the social media for AAD. And I actually counted today, and I run 19 social media pages for the whole company. So in addition to the Meridiem Instagram and Facebook pages, I'm also running 17 other pages that you may or may not follow for the other offices. And then on top of that, I handle all of the email marketing. So another thing that you probably don't get to see is that I actually counted this morning, I send 110 newsletters every single month for all of the offices across AAD. And then any sort of special events like your anniversary specials or your galas, things like that, I also will send specific emails for those events as well. So just to give you a full scope of what I do, I think some people think I only do the Meridiem page, but there's a lot more that goes behind the scenes for my job in particular. And our biggest newsletter send is at the very beginning of the month. So if you don't hear from me from like the 1st to the 3rd, just know I am buried under 100 newsletters, but I will get back to you shortly. But I just really appreciate you all being here. I want to go ahead and let's see, just pulling up my little agenda so I can keep us on track. I do want to be respectful of your time because I know you're all on your lunch break. So let me just pull this up really quickly. Okay, so first I just sort of wanted to share just the purpose and kind of cast vision for what I would love to see for our social media. So I've spoken with a lot of you individually about what you would like to see. And the trend right now is really just authenticity and education. And that's what I would really love to see going forward from Meridiem. So an emphasis more on telling people what services you offer, showing them the incredible work that you do, because it really does speak for itself. And then just educating the followers on what we offer so that they're enticed to want to buy it or want to try it, or at the very least to come in for a consultation for you to tell them what they should get. I want to move us away from kind of the last minute, this provider needs an appointment filled, this last minute special, really want us to hone in on being experts in this field and showing that in how we educate followers. And I really do believe that the customers will come when they know what you offer and what you have to bring to the table. So I'm so glad that we're all here together, because I really want us to focus on being more of a team as a mindset and less of like one individual provider is down, so let's focus on that one person. Let's focus more on all of us as a team, as one derm spa, and fill in those gaps as we can. So that's kind of my overall vision. And I did take in mind a lot of feedback that people have shared with me over my time here at AED. And social media is always changing. So like the importance and emphasis on education, that might not be the trend in a year. So just always being mindful of what's new, what's current, and also what works well for our followers. Like reels are really trendy right now, but when I've done surveys on Instagram stories, reels are always marked as the lowest thing that people want to see. So trying to stay with trends, but also appeal to the followers that we do have right now, and getting new followers and hopefully turning those followers into paying customers. And I do believe once they get in the door, they'll never want to walk away. So with that in mind, just a couple of things. So iPhones. So I know that you all have gotten iPhone 12s over the past year. And so I just wanted to reiterate, I know there's been some confusion a little bit about the iPhones and the use for them. They all should have the Emma app on them. So you'll be able to log into them as a provider. And then as far as photos in the office, just the quality of before and afters for an iPhone image versus the iPad images through Emma, it's night and day difference. I didn't want to pull up specific before and afters I didn't want anyone to feel bad in this Zoom meeting, but you can tell on Instagram which photos were taken with the iPhone and then which ones were taken with the iPad. So just wanted to send a friendly reminder. Catherine and Lexi fought hard to get you guys all those iPhones, and we would absolutely love it if you use them. So sometimes they go in the office and they're like in a box in the back of a drawer. Please, please, please use them. They worked really hard to get them, and it just makes such a difference in the quality of the photos. All right. Secondly, just before and after photos, just wanted to send a friendly reminder. As far as before and after photos, I would love to show your work, and I would love to show before and after photos. So it'd be really helpful if you all just made sure that you, grab that before photo, make sure you take one after, try your best to make sure that the after photo shows your very best work. I do have a training that we've put together on taking good before and after photos, and you'll see a link for that after this presentation. I really wanted to focus on Basecamp today, but if you ever have any questions about like quality of before and after photos, I think a lot of you take brilliant before and after photos. So it's really just a friendly reminder of little things that you might not think about, like make sure the person's hair isn't wild, make sure there's not blood on the lips, make sure that there's space around the photo so that when we go to crop it, we can actually crop it. Otherwise, it's too zoomed in to where you really can't do much with a photo. So just little things like that to be mindful of. And I'll make sure that there's the link in Basecamp so that if you want to on your own time, you can watch that training. Or again, I'm happy to meet with you one-on-one to go through, or like office by office to go through that training. I know that the Millersville office has already gone through it, and we're working on scheduling it, not just with Meridiem, but with all of the providers across AED, especially the ones that have their own social media accounts for their own like provider pages. So if you ever want that, I'm happy to meet with you to do that. So next on the agenda, the reason why we are all here today is to go over Basecamp and to go over social media. So I want to preface this by giving just a tiny bit of background about myself. In case you didn't know, I've worked in healthcare for 14 years. I worked as a provider in a hospital for 7, and then I switched over to marketing and events. And so I just want to tell you that before we start this, I don't know what it's like to be in cosmetic dermatology. However, I do know what it's like to be a healthcare provider in a hospital and be expected to contributing to marketing activities. And I know that that's not the primary focus of your job. And coming from that background experience, I know it's hard when you're seeing patients, you're writing up notes, you're running around a hospital all day, and then you're asked to slap on makeup and get ready for an initiative that you don't even have a say into. You're just like showing up and doing. So I know what that's like, and I don't want this to be that relationship. Like when I had that, I was just told what to do. I had no say in it. I just did what marketing told me, and that was it. I want this to be a collaborative effort. I want you to be able to show your creativity. But I also want you to know that I understand that first and foremost, you're providers, and like that is your ultimate job. And so I preface that because I don't want you to get overwhelmed when you see the Basecamp and feel like you have a million things to do, because I know that your primary goal is to be a provider and to treat your patients and to make them feel like their very best selves. That's number one. And in order to show that, though, we do need photos, and we do need content for you guys to share your passion about your work, to share the amazing before and afters that you do. So just wanted to give you a background, not to talk about myself, but more to show you that I empathize with what you do, because I've done it before and it's a lot, but I've learned from that experience, and that it's not fun when marketing just tells you what to do and you have to do it when you have patients to see. So I really want this to be like a collaborative effort. So that's my little spiel about my background in healthcare. And without further ado, let me pull up our Meridiem Basecamp. Does anyone have any questions so far about just like overall thoughts on social media, the goals that I'd like to see with education, any feelings that you have? Anyone? Okay, well, I will go ahead and share my screen so you can see our Basecamp folder. Okay. Can you guys see my messy desktop? Can you see my Basecamp? No? Okay. Let me try that again. All right. Excuse all of my icons. Okay, can you see my Basecamp now? Okay, great. April's shaking her head, so I will let her speak for the whole group. All right, so this is Basecamp, and this is a project management software that we all use. Sorry, I know you all have to come closer to the screen, but this is a project management software that we all use across AAD, across Meridiem. Anytime things like flyers are being created, your office managers are going in and out of Basecamp to approve, make edits, things like that. So what we've done is we have created one place to house all of the photos, all of the content that you guys create, all of the before and afters. I know some office managers will text them to me if they're in a hurry. Some people will email them to me, but this is really a place that we can all see what's going on at the same time. I also have received a lot of feedback about sometimes providers feel like they're the last to know about promotions and things like that. So I started putting together a monthly email so that you all know what's coming up. And then when you go in Basecamp, you will also see another copy of that same email that I send out. And it is all right here, so that if you ever want to know, hey, what's coming up in November across the Meridiem offices, you'll get that email, and then you'll also see it here in Basecamp. So just to begin, these are all the components of our project. So this is called a project, and I don't want to scare you, but across, these are all the projects that we are all in across the different offices, but then yours is just this one project. So this is the only thing that you really have to see. I have not tagged you in this yet because I wanted you to see it first in the training, but then after this training is over, you will be invited to join the project and to join Basecamp, and then you'll be added into it. So to get started, each project has a message board. So here, I could write a message to everyone and say, whatever we need to. I'll just put a message board in there. There'll be a title, and then you'll click it open, and then you'll see a full message. I'll go back to the main part. So here you'll see to do. So these are things that are coming up. So for example, November, these are all of the different things that are coming up for November. Like I said, this is a copy of the email. And then in the to-dos, there will be different things that we need done as far as a marketing perspective. And then it'll tell you details of what that is. and then when it's due. Docs and files this is a place where you can drop any photos that you might have. I would love for you to put any photos that you've never shared. So like Peyton has already created a project for the Tennessee offices. So going forward, you can add any new photos into these docs and files, but any old photos, most likely I already have them. So don't feel like you have to go through the archives and pull them out. But here you'll see there's a folder for literally everything. So at the top, you'll see I'm just going to mute some people real quick. Okay. So at the top, you will see all of your team photos. So like if you guys happen to take any photos as a group, those can be put in here. Next, I don't know if this is a secret or not, so I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it, Catherine and Lexi, but we are all in the process of trying to work on getting you all new headshots. So at some point when you guys get those new headshots, this will be a place to house them. So right now it'll just be empty. And then next you'll see all of your injectables. So Botox, filler, Kybella, sclerotherapy, anything to do with needles. You can put any photos or videos in here. Next, you'll see any sort of like laser type things. So BBL, halo, IPL, laser hair removal, and then any other lasers or any sort of light therapy will go in these folders. Next, you'll see more of your skin services and esthetician services. So things like chemical peels, dermaplaning, hydrofacials, microneedling, PRP, that will all go here, hydrogelly masks, and then any other facials that I might be missing or that are new, but maybe not as common, like a fire and ice, things like that could go in here. And then next you'll see your body sculpting. So cool sculpting, M-Sculpt, and skin tight, you'll see here. And then lastly, any information on products that you guys have photos of or videos of can go down here. So this will be kind of where we house all of those things. And like I said, any new photos can go in here. But before you do, just wanted to go back to here. So on the message board, I put something that says guidelines for putting photos in Basecamp. So what you'll do is before you even consider putting a photo in the docs and files, you'll want to go here and just make sure you have all of the information. So before you put any photos in Basecamp, you want to make sure that if it has a patient in there, there's already consent that's been given for the patient to sign for the photo. So if it hasn't been consented, please do not put it in Basecamp so that we don't have any compliance issues later. I want to assume that if it's here, you've already consented the patient and it's good to be used. If the patient requests any censoring, like they don't want their eyes to be shown or something, if you could just indicate that. Photos that have not already been posted on social media. So if you have a bunch of old photos, we really don't want them because chances are they've probably been posted, especially the Millersville office. But if you have any new photos, please go ahead and put them in here if they've never been used. And then we would just like for you to just make sure they're labeled with what they are. So I'll scroll down here. So before you put any photos in, or as you're putting them in, please make sure that you note if there's any censoring requests, the name of the procedure and product, the area being treated, the provider name, and office would actually be helpful as well. So does anyone have any questions about just labeling the photos and actually like what to do before you put them in Basecamp? Okay. I'm going to go by Leslie and Peyton shaking their heads no. And so hopefully no one else has questions. All right, so we'll go back to the docs and files. So I just want to quickly show you when you're going to put something in a folder. So what you'll want to do is I'll say, okay, I have a photo for the Farragut team. So I will go in here and click that open. And then, sorry, my Zoom is in the way of where I need to click. Okay, so I'll click new and you could do like upload file. And then I don't know if I have any like actual photos of the Farragut team right at this very moment, but okay, here's an example. Cody did appeal. So this is not the right folder. So, but this is a photo of Cody's peel right here. It's a before and after. I've already edited it, but here's a before and after. And then in any notes, what you'd want to do is you would say, patient wants eyes censored. Cody, chemical peel before and after. You could say Knoxville, and that's it. And then you would just click post. And ideally, I'd like to know like what type of chemical peel it is, but for the sake of this training, and you would literally just plop that before and after in, and then the notes of like what I need to do. So then when I go in, I can edit her before and afters. I'll go in, cover that person's eyes out, and then I'll be able to label it accordingly. So as you can see, Cody actually did give me information, and it's right here at the bottom. So that is it. It's very easy to just like drop a photo in there and type out what is needed. And then I can always like come in and comment on, thank you for posting, whatever. So we can comment back and forth. And so you'll be able to see in Basecamp, you'll be able to see like all the different photos that people post from all the different offices. So does anyone have any questions about actually putting a photo into Basecamp, into the folders? Okay. Well, next, I just wanted to go into the to-dos. This is probably might seem the most intimidating, but I promise it will make everyone's lives easier. So typically what we've done in the past is if a provider is down or a service is down, I attend all of your biweekly meetings to kind of know and get an idea of like what needs to be pushed more. But then I'm also keeping in the back of my head what events and promos you have coming up. Also things like our influencer or things like new team members joining in, anniversary specials, galas. Those are the different types of contents that I'm thinking about when I'm putting the content calendar together. So typically what we've done in the past is I will like text Mina or text Megan or call them and we'll say, hey, this provider's down. What can we do about it? And then we'd make a plan and they would get photos together and send them back to me. Well, now we have something a little bit more organized. So what we'll do is based on those meetings and based on what your offices are telling you that you guys need advertised and marketed, we will have the, like I said, the monthly emails with everything coming up. And then here you'll see the content that kind of follows in line with that. So coming up, you have the cool week. So I went ahead and put what's called a to-do, which means that it's there, it's pending, and anyone who can drop some content in there, you can put it in. And then when you're done, you'll mark it complete and check it off. And then it's good to go. And I have something that I can post for you guys. So for example, I just wanted to show one quick example of what a to-do could look like. So this would be for Cool Week. So Cool Week's coming up, and I think it would be really great to have a speaking video on stories. So what we'll do is I'll put in a to-do, and I don't necessarily need to assign it to anyone, but if I want to say, I would love, like, I haven't seen Brittany on in a while. So like, I would love, well, there's two Brittany's, but or whichever provider I haven't seen in a while, let me just tag them and see if they're available to do it. Otherwise, it could really be up for grabs for anyone. And then I have notes here. So please record a video for Instagram speaking about the upcoming Cool Week. Mention what cool sculpting is and encourage people to join us in person or on Instagram Live each day at 3 p.m. Thank you. And then I will also put context so that you know what I'm talking about. So here is the whole flyer so that you know what you're talking about with all the details. And then just for your sake, if you want to have images, especially for your own provider pages, there's a flyer for Facebook and a flyer for Instagram. So again, thank you to both of our Haleys who make all of these beautiful images. So that way you're not left in confusion. There's like clear detail on what's expected. And then what you'll do is if you have a video of yourself, you'll come in, you'll comment, you'll click attach and attach that video of cool sculpting. And then you'll just click add this comment. So I'll just write video, add comment, and then that's it. And this little spaceship right here, this is like just a quick little, like, it's kind of like on an iPhone when you heart a text, it's like essentially that same thing. It's called a boost. And so that way, if you don't want to like write a whole message, you can just clap emoji and send that. And now you're clapping and saying thank you for whatever it is, or just you think someone's work is amazing that they put in Basecamp. And so you just want to cheer them on. You can do that as well. So this is what to-dos look like. And so as you'll see in November, there are to-dos for different things. So like, I would love for someone to pose by a cool sculpting machine, and we can post that on the feed. I actually have photos of Trina for that, but this is just an example. Botox week is a big thing coming up this month. So I would love for a video for someone to remind people to schedule appointments specifically during that week. And to remind them that appointments are filling up. So if you want your Botox and you want to take advantage of all the alley specials, to come in. And then when you click that Botox, you will see a link to Botox Day, and then a couple stories that I had found on Instagram to give you a little bit more detail on what Botox Day is, in case you're not sure what it is. Fall treatments, always, good additional content to remind people what to get during this time of year. The cool sculpting model search, that is coming up at the end of the month through December. So here you'll see, again, all of the details of what the cool sculpting model search is and the flyers that go along with it. And then let's see, the Thankful For You promotion, that's the next global promotion. That's coming up also at the end of the month. So this is the patient appreciation raffle. So for every $1,000 spent, they'll get entered into a raffle to win one of these prizes. So it'd be really great if someone could talk about them or post a photo or something like that to get people excited about this end of the year sort of appreciation giving prize that they could win. So, and then here you'll see the flyer in case you're not sure what I'm talking about. The flyer is in there for you to reference. So this is how to-dos work, and they're very easy. I know that the Millersville office has already had some practice doing this, and the office managers definitely have done this a lot. So it's really just getting us all on the same page, and it's really nice because then you all can see what you're all doing in the different offices, and you can see the different before and afters. Just know that my disclaimer in all of this is if it's a to-do, it's going to be posted a lot sooner because it's something that's needed for that upcoming promotion. However, if you just take a really cool photo and you want to put it in here, just know that sometimes I'll save a photo for later. So like a lot of people from the Tennessee teams got me cool sculpting content a couple weeks ago, and I was like, thank you so much. I'm going to save this until we're talking about cool sculpting because I knew that was coming up soon. So just things like that. Just know that if you don't see it posted right away, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it. Sometimes people have posted things in June or July and like I'm posting them now. So it really just depends on what's going on in your offices and what I hear that you guys need pushed a little bit more than others. So I don't want you to be upset or think I don't like your pictures. It's really just there's a method to the madness. And I already know what the promotions are coming up through the rest of the year and the beginning of 2022. So I'm just keeping those things in mind. But does anyone have any questions about actually putting things in the to-dos and checking them off? Any concerns? Any thoughts on?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
We're just talking behind the scenes here because we're sitting here together. And this is extremely helpful. Honestly, I think this is going to move mountains when it comes to, the providers and office managers and support staff, anybody who has a hand in getting the content. I think the clear line of sight on exactly what is needed and opening it up to anyone is super helpful. And the outline of what November is with those to-dos is also equally helpful. are you going to send that, or can we aim to have, December's done by like the third week of November? So that way, if there is something needed in the beginning of December or whatnot, the office staff has enough time, because I do know that that is one thing that keeps coming up in multiple different offices. They want to get the content, they want to get the photos to us, but not giving enough lead time puts just stress on the office or stress on the providers. And sometimes you don't necessarily have those services coming up, like a halo. That's not something we normally have every day. So a little bit of runway and lead time would be helpful for them. So I don't know if that's, maybe the second week or the third week of the month, since we do have, quote unquote, what we are promoting for the following month. I don't know if that's doable, but I think that would be really helpful and monumental for the offices.
Absolutely. And my goal is always to be more ahead. There's always feedback. I'm always trying to adjust and pivot and be flexible on when to move things. I think our first is just getting everyone comfortable with Basecamp. That would be my first thing. And then as I hear and work on, attending the biweekly meetings and hearing what you guys need, then I can put to-do lists together. As offices tell me proactively what they need, like I can put these together as well. So I think if we all just aim to be more ahead, like we can definitely do that. So I know that the designers have been working really hard to get their designs out further and further in advance so that you guys can get those things to promote sooner and sooner. So like, I think we're all, I'm hopeful by like 2022, we'll all just be way ahead of the game, but this is a start. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So my dream world would be next year, we have these in advance over a month ahead of time. Designs are done. You have all the things to promote. Like you have all the details, all the to-dos and everything. So yes, that is doable. I just want to give us a little bit of time to adjust to Basecamp before I make promises that we're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of these things, but I will try my best for sure. And please know as well, with getting content and things, I know there's only one of me, but I am happy, especially the Maryland offices. I mean, if AD wants to fly me down to Tennessee, would love to see you guys every month to take photos. So you guys can let them know if you need me to do that. But I am always available to take pictures. Please know when I have come in the offices previously, I've always worked with your managers to find the times that are best for you. But I do appreciate when you guys are helpful in getting photos, because again, there is only one of me. Gas prices are outrageous right now. So it is helpful when you guys are able to put content in there, but please know that we're not doing this training just to say like, go and do my job, because that's not it at all. It's so I'm available to help. I'm happy to come to the offices. And if I do come, I always do, and will continue to work with your managers to work around your schedules and to work around patient schedules. So I'm not taking you away from patient revenue generating time. So just wanted to let you know, I'm not saying like, okay, go do this and run. So I see a hand. I think that's Cam in that mask back there. Is that you? Hi.
Hi, I missed a portion of the meeting because I was with a patient, but so does everyone have a login? Is this the Basecamp online? And how do you connect from your iPad to like get the pictures off your iPad or the phone, the office phone, to the program?
That is a great question. So I didn't want to intimidate everyone before this meeting, so I didn't send the invitations for Basecamp before. If you're already a manager, I can just tag you into this project. If you're a provider and you've never used Basecamp, I'll have to send you an invitation. And then once you get the invitation and you're in, I don't know that you'll be able to see this because I have a background up, but there is a Basecamp app that can be added to the iPads and the iPhones in the office. It's honestly like almost easier than using it on desktop, because you can just like drop it in there. So
does IT have to be involved in getting the app?
That I actually don't know. As far as the iPads or iPhones, I'm not sure. That's a good question.
To the iPads.
The iPads, yes.
iPhones. No to the iPads. Yes to the iPhone.
Okay.
So no, sorry, let me clarify what I mean. No, they cannot be added to the iPads. Yes, they can be added to the iPhones. And that's something that your manager can take care of downloading for you.
Okay, thanks, Lexi. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And when you guys add them to the iPhones, what you can do, I'm trying to think, it'll probably end up just being like your manager's name, like logged in. But so when you post something in there, if you could just write your name so that I know who it is, if that makes sense. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, thoughts? This is your time. We're your captive audience. So if you have any providers, if you have any questions or thoughts.
Just another thought about how to get the photos, Cam and any providers. Once if you take them on Pocket Emma on the iPad and you put them in the patient's chart or iPhone, sorry. Or you take them on the iPad, whatever that looks like. Once they're saved in the patient's chart, if you do use the desktop, Emma, you can save them from the desktop and add them into Basecamp that way, because I do agree it may get a little hairy with just using one person's login on the iPhone. So there are a couple different ways that we can accomplish this.
Absolutely. An airdrop, if you want to like do it through that way. There's so many different ways. And again, Haley is not the IT expert, but she is the Basecamp expert. So if you have any questions after this call, definitely email Haley New and I, and we're happy to like sit down one-on-one and go through your specific Basecamp account once you guys get logged in. And then something just going forward, like I said at the beginning of this call, I have spoken to a lot of you individually to kind of see what your hopes and dreams are for Meridiem social media. The goal is not to make us all into influencers, but really just to share like what we're doing for Meridiem and to represent AAD as well. And just really to showcase your amazing work. But I am always open to feedback and ideas. So something that I want to try out is I'm going to send a survey to you guys within the next month, just to, as we get adjusted to using Basecamp, I'm going to follow up with you all, see how it's going. And then if you have any anonymous comments that you want to share, hopefully they're nice, but if you have like anonymous constructive feedback, like I'd be happy to hear it. Or if there's some ideas that you want to be implemented, like I think Claire might be on this call, but I know Claire at one point had DM'd me and said, this hair salon, I just started following them. And then when I followed them, they DM'd me with a $10 off service. And it was just like such a nice welcome message. And so because of that, like the marketing team has been working behind the scenes to design something that people will get when they start following it. Hey, Claire, that's you. So like, because of that, like that was a really great idea. And so now the design team has created a little welcome image, and we're working on getting a service that will automatically DM people when they subscribe or when they follow, so that they get that little welcome message and that personal touch. So we welcome really great ideas. I'm not going to act like I know everything in the world about everything. I think everyone has great feedback to share. So just stay tuned for a survey coming up in the next few weeks after you have time to adjust to Basecamp. And then that will be a great place if you have any feedback that maybe you were too nervous to share today in front of everyone, or something comes to mind later that you didn't think of today. So, and my cell phone is in my signature of my email. My email you guys all have. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you ever want to just talk to me one-on-one about things. I'm always here. So just let me know. Happy to help. And I don't want this to be hard for you. I want this to be something that's fun and just help open the lines of communication even more across all of our offices in Meridiem, and then between marketing, cosmetics, and all of the providers. So
thank you, Crystal. I know a lot of people are kind of a hands-on learner, so I'm sure they'll probably have more questions once they get in there and they start looking at it and they, can't quite figure something out. So I'm sure they'll have a lot more to say or have more questions after they get to try it.
Absolutely. And like I said, Haley and I are here. So sometimes we literally just walk people one-on-one and they pull up Basecamp and we like have them click around and we show them. So we are happy to do that. It's one thing to watch someone click around on their own Zoom. It's another thing when you do it. So I totally understand that. So does
I would
anyone
like
have
to
any other
say-
questions?
If I could say one more thing, in regards to the types of photos and videos and whatnot that are taken. Please just be mindful. We are still in COVID times. I don't know if we're ever not going to be, but compliance does watch our social media. So please ensure that, you're gloved, that you're masked, that things like that are always on the, on the top of the priority list, when taking videos, when taking pictures. Anytime we have any group shots, everybody has to be masked. Or else we cannot use them. So I don't want somebody to take a really great shot, or really great content and us not be able to use them. And then the provider or the support staff be super frustrated about that. So just always keep that in the back of your mind, please. And just make sure that we're being mindful until we're out of this COVID time, if we ever are out of it.
Thank you, Lexi. And I will put those social media kind of guidelines that we had shared with Millersville. I will put that in Basecamp as well, if you guys want to reference that. So does anyone have any other questions or thoughts? Or I really wanted to keep this under an hour. So, okay. Well, thank you all so much for your time. I hope you all enjoyed your lunch or have had a chance to eat yet. And again, we're always here if you have any questions or want additional training. And after this, you will start seeing some emails inviting you to join Basecamp. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all. Really appreciate you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you.